Previously on Legends, man.
Hey, Hornhead. What's the matter? Spider-Man is hogging my villains and friends. He's got the Hand and the Punisher in his new movie.
Well, my friend, that's the way it goes sometimes. You have to learn to share in the Marvel Universe. Don't be shy. It won't actually fix anything, but after a sips, you won't care.
Hey, Stan, what's going on here?
Oh, Double D here is double depressed. I'm trying to cheer him up, but I can't even get him to take a drink.
This looks like a job for Iron Man.
Don't! Stark! You son of a... Stark! You get back here right now! Oh, sure. Now you cheer up. Finding enjoyment in another man's suffering. Some hero you are!
At least I'm a really good lawyer.
Hey, Friday, send a text to Stan Lee saying that's what you get for calling me Tony. Thank you.
Yes, boss. Excelsior.
Okay, welcome back to the show. If you're here for the first time, welcome to the channel. This is the first video in my new setup. It's actually the same room I was doing videos in, the same collection room. I just was able to rearrange a few things to get a little better, hopefully better setup for me to be able to do these videos and make them look a little nicer for everybody too. I've got some rearranging done here. I've got everything. I have the table of figures that I still have to get to. That's got a lot of figures on it that have been sitting around for a long time. Going to get to them. I know in the last couple videos I said I'm going to take a break from X-Men, and I am. This is more of a Spider-Man themed video, as you can maybe guess by the collection of ladies standing around Stan back there, other than the Doctor Doom target. So I have a figure here that one of my favorite eras of Spider-Man is when I was a kid growing up and reading it, and that would be the 70s into the 80s. Spider-Man just had, I thought, the greatest, wackiest assortment of villains. You never knew who was going to show up next. You know, the classic villains, of course, it was the Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Shocker, Sandman, Electro, the classic ones. But into the 70s, there were even more animal themed villains, and just some really oddball things. They were just fun to look at. I imagine that the artists had a fun time drawing some of these wacky characters. But one we have here is one, it's a deluxe figure. It's been sitting here for a few months. It is Grizzly, Marvel's Grizzly. Now, Grizzly is basically a repaint, redo, some additional sculpt and things of a 2021 Build-A-Figure of Ursa Major. A couple differences here. Grizzly is a man in a suit, a grizzly bear suit. I don't know if at first the suit was powered. I know at one point he went to, I believe it was the Tinkerer, to have the suit upgraded to increase his strength and durability. I'm not sure if he had that the first time he fought Spider-Man, but anyway, the Grizzly, his name was Max Markham, or Crazy Max. He was a wrestler, and J. Jonah Jameson wrote some kind of scathing article about him that basically ruined his career, and he wanted to take revenge on JJJ. So sorry, I'm playing with my lights here. Part of my new setup is now I actually have a monitor set up so that I can see what you see a little easier. It was finding that just going but trying to look around my phone while I would reach in front of it wasn't working out too well. So this way it's a lot easier to reach up here. I don't have to look down at the phone. I can look over to the side at the monitor. I can see, when it's in focus and out of focus. And yeah, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but that's the way I work. So I got to figure out something with this glare and bounce back here. Anyway, so Crazy Max. So J. Jonah Jameson wrote the article. Max wanted revenge, dressed up like a grizzly, and of course, Spider-Man had to save JJJ's butt. So, like I said, this is a repaint of the 2021 Build-A-Figure of Ursa Major, which I have here. And you can see even in the package, there's a lighter color on Grizzly. And of course, this one has a human face in there. But this also comes with an Ursa Major head. So you don't have to try and go back in time and get the parts for Ursa Major. You can just get this, and with a head swap, take turns between Grizzly and Ursa Major. But while I'm still rambling here, let me start getting Grizzly open. Well, actually, I should do follow a format, right? Right. So here's the front of the box. Marvel Legends series. Warning, choking hazard. Marvel's Grizzly. The classic The Amazing Spider-Man logo. 4+, Hasbro. Turn to the side. Marvel's Grizzly. There's a growling face of Crazy Max inside the suit. The back, another comic art here. And here we go. Seeking revenge on J. Jonah Jameson for ruining his wrestling career, Maxwell Markham dons a power-boosting, there you go, exoskeleton as the costumed villain Grizzly. I guess I should have read the back of the box first instead of going by memory. Lots of warnings, all different languages. Don't eat the Grizzly. This is actually the same picture on the back as on this side, Marvel Legends series. There is the bottom of the box with all kinds of legal stuff, yada, yada, yada. The barcode, if you shouldn't have any trouble finding this. It's available online. It's showing up at, I think, GameStops. You'll find this. I know Amazon, probably Hasbro Pulse, and the various other places. Just do a search online, you'll find it. I'll put some links in the description, some shopping links. So the links I have in this description would be Amazon links, and they would be basically, yes, I would, affiliate links. So if you follow that link and purchase it, I guess I get a few shekels at some point if you do that, but you don't have to do that. Anyway, 2 trays, top tray and the bottom half tray. So we'll just look at this one first. Now, one of the nice things about this, and this is always nice when Hasbro adds in accessories like the gold bars and the bank bag there. I remember before this came out, like months before it came out in a Pulse stream, the Marvel Legends guys had these as a tease to try and guess what the figure was going to be. So there you have it. It was this guy, the bank robber. And actually, well, I'll get into that in a minute. Let's go through the figure first, and I'll give you a little bit more history as I remember it. Here is the Ursa Major head, and this one has, the mouth opens. Now I'm curious. I don't remember if this one, no, the Build-A-Figure, there you go. Plus the Build-A-Figure was just stuck in that pose. This one, you can open and close. And again, you can see the difference in the color. So you couldn't just pop this head on the Build-A-Figure if you already have it. You would need to darken the colors on this head to match that, or vice versa, lighten that one up. In fact, I may even do that. I think I will darken this to go with that, because Max is going to be Max, Ursa is going to be Ursa. Anyway, let's get Max out of this plastic prison. And out of the package, you see half of his back is not on. That comes with the other tray, and I'm sure it's just to take up less space in the packing. So that's easy enough, just pops on. Now this is the extra fur for the shoulders. That just pops on there, if you get it in the slot right. There we go. So there's Max, there's Ursa. Let's go side by side. And yeah, they look pretty good side by side. You know what? Looking at it in my monitor over there, I wonder. That looks better to me. That looks more, to me, that looks more like a guy in a Grizzly suit without this piece. But by the time I get around to editing this video, I'll have some comparison pictures to the comic art to see which one is better. I mean, I could look on here, but that's with the angle. It's not what I was looking for. So there he is out of the package. I'm just going to pop out the loop. So there we go. There's his loot from the bank robbery, and we'll just get rid of that. And we have also 2 extra hands. I'll have to check and see what the difference is here. 2 hands. Now the hands that come on the figure, let's look at them. Look at that. Okay, so these are, I would say the hands that are on there would be more if you wanted this to be Ursa. This looks more like a human hand in a grizzly glove. So they should be Ursa pieces in my mind, but play with it the way you want to play with it when you get it. So yeah, so there's side by side, a little difference. I actually like that. Yeah, they definitely, even though they're basically the same figure, set up like that, to me, that looks like definitely 2 different characters. One is a bear, and the other is a guy dressed like a bear. Anyway, when I said a bear, it's actually the Ursa Major. He was part of Soviet super soldiers, and also if you play Marvel Strike Force, he is part of the Winter Guard team. And he was, I think they went by Winter Guard in the comics too. He was also the character, this guy, his name was, I think his last name was actually Ursa or Ursus or something. It was like Mikhail. Anyway, in the Black Widow movie, and I think that came out in 2021 also, Ursa Major was actually in that movie in his human form. Ursa Major, Mikhail, whatever, Ursus or Ursula, he's a mutant and he could transform into a bear. In the Black Widow movie, when her father was in jail and he's arm wrestling someone, he's arm wrestling a giant. The giant he is arm wrestling was Mikhail, let's just go Ursa Major, and he was played by the actor. I'm gonna have to look him up. I know he's a Dutch bodybuilder. He's like 7'2" or something, he was also in Reacher, I believe. Was it last season or season before? The guy that made Reacher look pretty small, that was his enemy and part of that. That's who played Ursa Major. So he did appear in the MCU already, just not in this form, not in his mutated form. Okay, enough rambling on that one. So look at the accessories right now. Here's the gold, the one pile of gold. This is the randomly scattered gold. And let's see. Even with that, I can't really. Not quite sure what that says right now, but maybe you can tell. I can look at it later. Here's a neatly stacked pile of gold loot. Single gold bar. First central bank bag, money bag with a nice little padlock on the back. It's got some nice detail to the stitching all the way around the handle. Even the texture of the bag, I think you can see it. I can see it on my monitor. The texture is really nice. There is some nice detail in this accessory. Well done. I say well done. Now, on to the figure. On to Max. Now, Max, again, his face is in there, so you can't really do anything with it, and he is yelling, but that's fine. He's usually yelling and charging and ranting and raving. So let's go with articulation. Let's see if we can do a T. That's pretty good. And this is, I haven't warmed this up in any way. This is right out of the box. So that's pretty good. And he's got swivel right there. He's got, like most of the bulkier figures do, he's got a single jointed elbow. But that's fine. Now, one thing on the bigger figures with the single jointed elbow, this isn't that bad at all. But in the Hulk figure, especially the Maximum Hulk, I'll get around to doing that at some point too. There's like the elbow piece. It's like when you bend his arm, he's got a point coming out here, which looks really bad to me. I wish they would do something better with that. Anyway, so you get single jointed there, but it also can pivot right there, so you get plenty of motion for a bulky character. It's got a pivot on the wrist and swivel. The other arm's going to be the same. He's got a little bit of crunch, a little bit of arc back. This is straight up, straight as it can be. And let's see, I just want to, there we go, the abdomen crunch. So you can see that's how far you can crunch forward, which isn't much, but that's all right. He's a bulky guy. So let's get this out of the way. The legs. No Van Damme, but again, bulky guy. So let's see. So in, out, a little clicky clicky. Again, not much range back. Forward's not bad, but back. Let's see. How's his balance? Ooh, not bad. Look at that. Come on, Max, you can do it. Walk a straight line, hop on one foot. That's pretty good. Top of the thigh has a swivel. Single jointed knee. Not bad. Foot rock, foot pivot, front, back. This, I'm really impressed. This is moving really well for, like I said, I didn't even, a lot of times I take these out of the box and they don't want to move at all at first. This one's pretty good. It's not loose either. It's just the right feel to it for movement. I'm curious. It's been so long. I mean, this is actually, oh, I was going to say this is a lot looser than that, but it wasn't there. And this has been, again, this was the Build-A-Figure version where the pieces came with different figures and you had to put it together. This one is, some parts are a lot looser than this one. Other parts are a lot tighter. This one is just right. Goldilocks and the Three Bears, but there's two. That's too tight. This is just right. Okay. So there we go. Again, this is the Ursa Major head. Probably, like I said, I'm going to keep this as max, but I'll switch the heads just so you can see. And there's the Ursa Major head. Actually, let's put them next to. So you got two different Ursa Majors. The blonde and dark brown reddish Ursa Major. And this one I didn't put the back piece back on, but I can. So there you go. See that a little better. So yeah, it's again, this one you can move the mouth, this one you can't. But I really, yeah, this is just gonna, this figure is going to stay as Grizzly. These will be spare parts for this other Ursa. Yeah, that's the way Grizzly's going to look. Grizzly's not going to have the big hump on the back. That looks a lot better to me without that on there, to be a Grizzly figure. So I like it, and I like the difference in the hands. They give you the different hands, which is more, again, like I said, like a human hand and a glove, and this is like a bear claw, not the kind you can eat. Again, don't put it in your mouth. Let's see, can he? I guess you can hook this on his fingers somehow, or just, let's see. Yeah. Now that you may have to do some heating, but no, I can get it there. There you go. So we can run away with a bag of loot. And another thing I remember with Grizzly, again, like I was saying, my favorite era was in the 70s into the 80s with all the wacky villains Marvel would come up with. And along with Grizzly, there was Kangaroo, the Gibbon, and the Spot. And I remember at one point they were a group, Kangaroo, Gibbon, and Spot. They were the Spider-Man Revenge Squad, I believe. But they also ended up being called the Legion of Losers. Who was it? It was Grizzly and the Gibbon, I believe. They were the ones, they just wanted revenge on Spider-Man for thwarting them the first time. And that's what they thought they were grouped together for with Kangaroo and the Spot. So they, when they were going after Spider-Man, they actually, I think they didn't knock him, they captured him somehow. But then Grizzly and Gibbon saw that Kangaroo and the Spot were also robbing a bank, which was not part of their agreement. And in fighting Spider-Man and talking with Spider-Man, they decided to let him go because he's a good guy, or he's a nice guy. He's something like that. I'll have to look that up. Grizzly and Gibbon, helped Spider-Man stop the other two. And Grizzly and Gibbon, for a bit, they reformed and were heroes for a little bit, that I remember. They helped Spider-Man stop a White Rabbit bank robbery, which reminds me, coming up, one of the figures I have to open in another video is going to be the White Rabbit. And that was after Secret Wars, I believe. So I think that when that happened, when they helped Spider-Man stop White Rabbit, Spider-Man was also in the costume of the Bombastic Bagman, which I will be opening this up soon. This I believe is one of my favorites. This is the greatest Marvel Legends action figure ever. Just because I never thought I would see a figure, I thought this was going to be a custom of the Bombastic Bagman. I'm not going to talk too much about that. I'll save that for the review, but that's just great. In my mind, my opinion, everybody can have their own opinion. But along those lines, well, you know what? I bet he's one of the greatest figures ever, because with these goofy Spider-Man villains, you got Frogman. And this could be either Leapfrog or Frogman. Frogman is the son of Leapfrog. Hopefully I don't have that backwards. Leapfrog was a villain. His son was a hero. And the son being a hero made the father become a hero too. Long story. He was also in the She-Hulk TV series. Different version of him, but it was, Leapfrog was the character. With this one's got springs on his feet instead of the jets that the TV show had. That's another one of my favorites. One of the greatest Marvel Legends action figures ever. But another wacky Spider-Man villain they made into a figure is Razorback. Look at this guy. How wacky is that? How great is that? Another guy in a suit with a Razorback head. So here we go. Let's put him over here. Now, Razorback came in a pack with a couple other wacky Spider-Man villains and a Spider-Man figure. And that pack was, I'm going to have to put this back here, I think. Yeah, way back. Try and get it in focus here. Well, in the shot. So let's do this. There we go. Yep, so this was a Spider-Man, I think it was Amazon exclusive several years ago. And this had a black suit Spider-Man, but it was more like a purplish black. Silvermane, who not as wacky as some of the heroes or villains I remember from Spider-Man, but still, it's a crime boss that, for reasons, becomes a cyborg. And the Human Fly, another wacky Spider-Man villain, and another great figure. Screaming face, or buzzing face. I'm a Human Fly. And Molten Man came along with Razorback. I'm not sure where the Spider-Man figure is. It wasn't really, in my mind, a great figure. I think I either gave that away or maybe scavenged it for parts or something. I don't really remember. So let's put him over here. But this, again, the Spider-Man villains, like recently we just got, look at this guy. He is awesome. Wow. Okay, Spick stayed in. Oh, Spick is part of the hand. Okay, with his guitar and a little firing out of his boots, and now this is a classic Spider-Man villain, but along the themes of guys in suits with their faces showing. You got the Rhino. The Rhino goes way back, and I just love this figure. I love that he can, and look at this, he can pose, he can balance on one foot. And I know the way he's twisted, you can see, well, it's an action figure, so what's the big deal? But I just think to be able to set something up like that, leave it on the shelf, and the big, bulky feet, keep it standing up, that is just great to me. Another well done, Marvel Legends. The bulky figures are working out. So there is an assortment of wacky Spidey villains that are all ready to go toe to toe with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And this figure is the Maximum Spider-Man. This is, I think I talked about this before. I'm going to do an in-depth review on this one too. This is despite all the controversy when it first came out, this really turned out to be a great figure. Hopefully they do more variations on this body, different paint schemes, and change it around, because it is amazing, spectacular, Maximum. So there's Spidey. Let's get him back over out of camera here. So yeah, there is my rambling review in my new setup, which is still in progress. This is basically everything, this whole setup, and I'll have to do another video showing it from further back so you can see how everything is set up. But basically, this whole studio, YouTube studio, is very low budget. It's basically, I put this together with a box of scraps in a cave. Here's, I forgot about him. Here's Hydro Man, another wacky guy. There we go. The crazy villains of Spider-Man. Just a small taste of the crazy villains of Spider-Man as part of the Grizzly review. I really like the figure. Let me know what you think if you have it, or what you think from this review, and look at it. Yeah, put some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me give me your opinions. What villains do we not have from Marvel Legends that you would like to see? I know I have a long list, and maybe I'll do that as a video topic too. Again, thank you for stopping by. Thank you to everybody that has subscribed and keeps checking back. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. It helps me out. Well, will help me out. Right now, nothing's monetized, so it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. And post some comments. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. I'm still finding my footing here, trying to stick to a format, or find a format that seems to work. I have more things I'm going to do in the background here. I have some ideas with bits and pieces I have laying around, just to have some sets coming in and out of here to make it look nice while you're watching the video. But in the meantime, the blue wall back there will work as a blue screen for doing videos and cutting things out of video for little pictures, stop motion, things like that. Again, thanks for stopping by. Again, I rambled. I was all over the place. I tried to stay focused, but let me know what you think. Please give me some feedback. I do appreciate it. Would like to hear comments, good or bad. If you have suggestions, something that would you think would help me make better videos, please let me know. It's everything will be in the description down below. Links to any links I find for these figures, I will put down there. By the time you see the video, there will be, I'm sure, my usual pictures or animations added in. And when I see all the things I forgot to mention, I will have that popping up in the video, and calling myself a dumbass throughout those comments. But there you go. So I hope you liked it. Please give it a like, share it, post comments, and subscribe. Legends Man out.